The £80 million gamble, why betting sponsors were banned from Premier League shirts. Market failure explained. The 2026-27 Premier League season is about to kick off, and something is missing. For the first time in over 20 years, there won't be a single betting logo on the front of a Premier League shirt. But this isn't just a moral victory. It's a £80 million economic earthquake. And it's a textbook case of what economists call market failure. Why did clubs voluntarily vote to lose tens of millions? Why are some clubs starting the season with blank chests? And who's really footing the bill? Today, we're breaking down the economics of the Premier League's great gambling ban. To understand why this is such a big deal, you need to understand one number: 40%. That's the premium gambling companies paid to get their logos on Premier League shirts. They paid 40% more than regular, non-gambling brands. Why? Because these weren't British companies trying to sell to British fans. They were advertising to millions of viewers in China, Malaysia, and Southeast Asia. And Premier League clubs were more than happy to take their money. Who wouldn't? Gambling sponsors paid double what other companies offered. They asked for less in return. They were essentially free money, a simple billboard to a global audience. But here's the problem. Market failure. In economics, a market failure happens when individual self-interest leads to a bad outcome for society. Each club, acting rationally, took the money. The private benefit was clear: millions in revenue. The private cost? Almost nothing, just a logo on a shirt. But the social cost was enormous. Betting logos appear thousands of times during a single televised match. Every time a young fan watched their hero score a goal, they saw a gambling logo. Every time a vulnerable person watched the game, they were exposed to triggers. The problem was that no single club bore the cost of that harm; it was externalized onto society. That's a classic market failure. And the government was about to step in. The ban. The UK government was preparing to publish a white paper on gambling regulation. Ministers had signalled they were ready to restrict shirt sponsorships. But the Premier League did something clever. They beat the government to the punch. In April 2023, clubs voluntarily agreed to ban gambling logos from the front of shirts. This was the first major sports league in the UK to do so. It looked like a win-win: the government got action, the league avoided legislation, and fans got cleaner kits. But there was a catch. The chaos. The ban gave clubs 3 years to transition. But here's what happened: almost no one actually prepared. Some clubs found replacements while a few will be starting the season with blank shirts. And the financial hit is staggering. The Guardian reported that the collective loss of income could be as high as £80 million. Gambling sponsors had been paying around £8 to £12 million a year. Non-gambling replacements? As low as £4 to £5 million. In some cases, offers dropped by 50%. One club executive told The Guardian, "Nearly everyone is losing money." The ban only applies to the front of shirts. Gambling companies can still sponsor sleeves. They can still buy perimeter board advertising. And they can still partner with clubs in ways fans might not even notice. The loophole: clubs have been promoting Asian-facing operators on their stadium perimeter boards, often without even acknowledging the partnerships on their websites. The club's reluctance to be opened is understandable. There's a massive reputational risk. But what matters to these operators isn't British public opinion, it's the Asian customer base watching games. Not every club is suffering. The Big Six clubs have long-term deals worth £50 to £60 million with non-gambling brands, Emirates, Standard Chartered, Etihad. But the biggest winners might be outside the Premier League. The EFL still allows gambling sponsorships. Those clubs are likely to be the beneficiaries of gambling companies looking for new homes. So, what have we learned? The Premier League betting ban is a textbook example of how market failures are corrected. The market failed because clubs captured the private benefits of gambling sponsorship while society bore the social costs, the harm to vulnerable people and young fans. The government threatened regulation. The Premier League voluntarily stepped in to avoid legislation. But the ban created a new problem, an £80 million revenue gap. And now clubs are scrambling, taking lower offers, or starting the season with blank shirts. Some see this as a victory for ethics over profit. Others see it as a poorly managed transition that's cost clubs tens of millions. But here's the question, is the ban actually working, or have clubs just moved the problem from shirts to perimeter boards and sleeves? The Premier League is now gambling free on the front of shirts. But as we've seen, the problem hasn't disappeared, it's just moved around. Do you think the Premier League made the right call? And should they ban gambling from sleeves and perimeter boards too?